All right, well, actually, my low isn't bad, but it's like consisting of several things. The first is like, I no longer have a tickle in my throat, but it still feels like there's something there, and like no matter how much I cough, I like can't get it out. That's one thing. Like the inside of my ear feels, tight as well, which it shouldn't. Seriously, I'm taking like Claritin, I'm taking Mucinex, like what is going on? It's so weird. Um, so there's that. I also realized I screwed up on when I talked about You Afraid of the Dark. I didn't know it already, like, this three-part miniseries had already happened. It took place a year ago, in 2019. So basically, what they've been showing on Nickelodeon is a rerun. But, it does lead into a little bit of a high. And I'll get to that in a minute. That, I guess that's about it. I mean, I did sort of get a late start this morning, but luckily I didn't really have to do much in terms of other than, get ready. Because normally I like to clean up my apartment, but I did that like last night. So yeah, that that's taken care of. Other than that, nothing negative to report. In terms of my high is, for one thing, I can actually talk about what I thought about the miniseries You Afraid of the Dark. That's one thing. We got a new episode of Hot Ones yesterday. I'll be talking about that in a minute. And Totally Not Mark had a new One Piece blind review episode of the first part of Whole Cake Island. I'll talk about that too. So, yeah, that happened. And my act of kindness? What was my act of kindness? Oh, right. Well, technically this had happened on Wednesday, but I actually got my grandmother like one of those miniature heaters. Like, it's like a stand that you that you plug in, and like it's actually an oscillating heater, but she doesn't have it oscillate. And at first, like, she didn't like it, but it turns out it works perfectly. So yeah, I got my grandmother a new heater, and now she likes it. So that's pretty dope. Dope. So I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. See, I think I am starting to come down with something again because I'm starting to get the lyrics kind of weird. Anyway, good morning and happy Friday, everybody. Oh yeah, it is Friday. That's awesome. So I guess now in terms of now that I screwed up on You Afraid of the Dark, I think I can talk about what I thought of the miniseries as a whole. Keep in mind, I didn't know they were showing on Wednesday night too, so I missed the second part. But I did see the last part, and I gotta say, I really liked it. I really liked it a lot. I was not expecting the twist at the end, where basically I said that the girl Rachel told the story about the Carnival of Doom, and it turns out the Carnival of Doom is real. But it turns out that Rachel had been to the Carnival of Doom as a little girl. In fact, the story that she said was the very story that happened to her. And she didn't realize it because apparently when you leave the Carnival of Doom, you're not supposed to remember that you were there. And apparently, and this is where the twist came in, years and years and years ago, her great-great-grandmother went to the Carnival of Doom and eventually became an orphan because of it. Because, yeah, that's how long the Carnival of Doom had been around. And somehow that connection involving the fact that, Rachel's ancestor became an orphan from the Carnival of Doom, and Rachel was the one who ultimately stopped it, years and years later. That's a surprising twist. I definitely wouldn't have seen that coming. And, but here's the kicker of what happened at the end. And this is, I'm like, please tell me there's going to be more. Unfortunately, there's going to be a new series, but it's going to be a different cast movie. So I'm like, no, because I actually really like these kids. Like, I'm looking up their information right now. Liliana Ray, Sam Ash Arnold, Maya Sheck, Jeremy Ray Taylor, and Tamara Smart. Like, they were good. This is a good group of kids. I wouldn't mind hearing stories from these kids. Not bad at all. But here's the kicker. Gavin, who was Sam Ash Arnold's character, is, well, for one thing, they're all congratulating Rachel for being the one to save the day, because she did save the day. Oh, excuse me. And Rachel challenges Gavin to tell a scary story, right? So, well, actually, before I continue, I gotta point out that one of the main reasons why the Carnival of Doom was had such prominence is because in the end of the first episode, a kid ends up walking his dog. The dog runs into the Carnival of Doom. The dog comes back, but the kid doesn't. So this is also a rescue mission as well. They save the kid, and eventually, one night, that very kid walks into the very Midnight Society that I'm talking about, and then Rachel asks him, do you like scary stories? But before that happened, and this is the kicker, Gavin is about to say his scary story. He's like, submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. And what happens in A Year for the Dark is, like, they have some sort of, like, magic sand or something, and they throw it into the fire, and, like, that's when the story begins, the tale of the ... Gavin is about to say, submit for the approval of the Midnight Society. Like, throws it in the air, falls in the fire. The return of the Ghastly Grinner. The Ghastly Grinner? They're actually going to retell the story or bring back the Ghastly Grinner. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who may not remember, the Ghastly Grinner is like one of the most infamous episodes of Are You Afraid of the Dark? Infamous in the sense that any kid who saw it originally back in the day, let's just say their undergarments were no longer white after watching it. I'll put it to you that way. It scared me when I was a kid. For those of you who don't know the story of the Ghastly Grinner, basically like some kid is like reading a comic book and somehow the comic book gets zapped and like the evil character inside the comic book is like loose on the world, causing havoc and chaos everywhere. And it was one of the scariest things ever when I was a kid. Holy cow. Because, like, whenever the Ghastly Grinner showed up, like, imagine, like, what would happen in Batman the Animated Series when the Joker, like, left his victim with, like, but, like, after that, not only were they smiling, like, but, like, green ooze was coming out of their mouths. It was freaky. I would love to see them do like a Return of the Ghastly Grinner. It'd be awesome. Like, with the modern technology today, I know you can make a story like that really scary. Although, again, you'd also need, good writers and, good effects artists and stuff like that. But you can make it work. And, okay. I don't know when, sorry, I'm trying to hold back a yawn. I don't know when Are You Afraid of the Dark is going to be coming back, if it ever is. Actually, hold on a second. Because it was announced in 2020 that, in February 2020, that a new series was going to be, like, renewed. But I don't really know when that's going to be. Anything involving... No. No. Nothing. No. Oh, I actually am looking up, hold on. No, never mind. I'm looking at something else. Uh, okay, it doesn't appear to be that there's going to be no days when the second revival that I'm talking about right now is going to be happening. But I still want to see it. It should still be interesting. But enough about that. How about we get into something else? So, Naomi Campbell, a hot one. I gotta say, for almost fainting, she didn't do bad at all. I liked her episode, and I actually learned a little bit about the fashion world. Like, for example, apparently, like, you know, and like you see in the fashion shows, like, there's so much prominence with sitting up front. Apparently, and I can't believe I didn't piece this together sooner, sitting up front in a fashion show allows you to see both, like, the entirety of the top and bottom of the model walking down the runway. I did not know that. Although, if it was a snake, it would have bitten me, probably. Because obviously, the closer you are to the front, the better you can see everything. What else? Like, she was talking about different kinds of fashion and labeling and merchandise. Like, seriously, I actually learned quite a bit about the modeling industry yesterday from this one Hot Ones episode. At least in terms of, like, the point of view of, like, a world-class veteran model, because that's what Naomi Campbell is. She's like a veteran model. I mean, she's been modeling since she was like age 15, and she's like age 50 now. So that's very impressive that like she knows and retains like all of that sort of like relative information. I think it's really cool. But it does like lead to some speculation as to you know, what other sorts of questions that could have been asked. I wouldn't mind seeing any other models in the future. I mean, Tyra Banks was once an episode on Hot Ones, although she, I believe, is on the Wall of Shame. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing more supermodels and stuff like that beyond Hot Ones. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they'd be pretty fine, right? Yeah, so that's what I have to say on that matter. And I mentioned this yesterday too about Totally Not Mark, and he's talking about the first part of Whole Cake Island. I said yesterday that around the time Whole Cake Island was beginning to wrap up was around the time I started making videos, when at least when it was being published in Weekly Show and Jump. And this really brought back, like, you know, some fond memories. But I said, he talked about the first half yesterday, and Whole Cake Island was beginning to wrap up. So next week, it's really going to hit the nostalgia feels for me. Especially when a good while I talked about a certain character that I'm sure is going to be of great prominence in next week's video. Seriously, he's like on part 20. He'll be doing part 20 next week. And even after that, he'll probably do like the referee the week after. And then he'll probably do like an initial thoughts on Wano, which is where we are right now. Speaking of which, we're thankfully getting chapter 992 this week, which I'm excited for. I mean, I still think it's kind of silly that, because they could have published it, they could have released it last week, but, you know, they didn't. But I think I get what Shueisha's game is. They want us to have chapter 1000 in the beginning of 2021 signify, like, not only the new year, but quite possibly a new beginning, if that's the direction that the narrative is going, which I'm all for. But, you know, chapter 1000 would have been worth it if they had it, like, at the end of this year, considering what's been going on in the world as a whole. I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking this too much. Anyway, nothing really going on today other than, you know, the usual. I'm going to read this today. It's going to be awesome. It's actually raining out right now. Like, I think it rained all night, which we needed. I honestly think we needed the rain. So, that happened. And other than that, nothing new to report. So, I think I'll just end it off here. Like, favorite, share, the subscribe button, follow me on social media, trying to get you on YouTube. I'm very humbly this video for every you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I'm hopefully you have a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And if you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to let you know if they're back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.